All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Hunter x Hunter. Sorry for being late. I had to take care of some things, and now that those things have been properly taken care of, we can go ahead and begin. Good to see you, Ravi. Good to see you, Ogata. Did your badge change color? Yes, because you've been a member for, I want to say, about, it changes. It changes the longer you go. So I think you've reached like the next tier of length for how long you've been a member. So that's the reason why the color of it changed. I probably need to make more badges for people who tend to be up there a lot longer. So I'll work on those when I get the chance. But let's get started, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to more. Yeah, 3 years. Member for 36 months. 3 years you've been a member. That is amazing to me. But I'm probably going to need to make new badges and make them more unique for people who've been here for a while. I got to refresh this because I connected my line to it so that way it can, it can show. But Ravi, thank you for being a member. I greatly and deeply appreciate it. Today, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Hunter x Hunter. Today, we are going to be reading through volume 5 of the series that consists of chapter 36 all the way to 44. And I've already recorded my footage for the new update for Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, so I'll have that up for you guys a little while after this session is over. So all I gotta do is just edit it down and get it out to you guys, and that'll be the extra bit of content for Thursday that I drop for you guys. Tomorrow will be the return of food heresy. It makes me cough just thinking about it. But let's go ahead and get started with these chapters, because in the last one, Gon has officially gotten his hunter's license, and he wakes up after promptly being knocked out by Hanzo because Gon refused to allow himself to give in, but also refused to allow Hanzo to give in. So Hanzo said just knocked out Gon in one punch after that because he got fed up with how indomitable Gon was behaving. Gon wakes up at least like a couple hours later. I think it was like a couple hours later. And Satots is there talking to him, telling him everything that transpired. And then we come to find out that everyone managed to move on, with the only loser being Killua because he broke the rule of not killing his opponent, who turns out to be Gitaracker. You know, the dude with all the piercings in his face that he promptly takes out when he's face to face with Killua, and revealing himself to be someone by the name of Illumi. And that's the last we saw in chapters 35. Onwards to chapter 36. Chapter 36, Light and Darkness, Part 2. And it shows Illumi standing there with his long, flowing black hair in front of Killua. Yo. And Killua isn't saying anything. And then we get almost like there was some fuzz in front of my face. Then we get Leorio going, I'm moving and I'm talking and it feels like there's... I think that was it. There was an eyelash right there. Sorry. But we get Leorio going, is that Killua's brother? And Hisoka isn't saying anything. And we get Netero sitting with the big guy, and he's not saying anything either. Heard you stabbed Mom in Miluki. That's about right. Mom was in tears. Mind you, this dude Illumi is saying all of this with a very deadpan, unemotioned face. Mom was in tears. As if anyone would blame her. Jeez, Killua. What a rotten kid. She was so happy to see you'd gained such skill. And that causes Leorio to fall back with his feet in the air. But she's still concerned about you being out on your own, and asked me to check up on you when I got the chance. I had no idea I'd find you here, taking the exam. I'm here to get a license for a job that's coming up.
I don't really want to be a hunter. I was just curious about the tests.
Were you? That's good, because now I can tell you that you would not make a good hunter. Your calling is as an assassin. And then the mood in the room just starts to change the moment he says this about Killua. Then we cut back to Satots, who's still talking to Gon. And there's silence. And then we get Gon.
He actually said that? Whew, what a family Killua's got.
Ah, that wasn't all. And then that's Satots, and then we cut back to Illumi. There's no fire in you, just darkness. It sustains you, drains you of any desire. Your only joy is in causing death, and even that is fleeting. That is how Dad and I molded you. Now, and mind you, I'm doing all these faces, but his face is all like, that is how Dad and I molded you. That is how Dad and I molded you. Now that your curiosity is satisfied, why go on?
You're right. I'm not at all interested in being a hunter. But there are other things I want.
No, there aren't.
Yes, there are. And one thing most of all.
Oh, yeah? Tell me, Killua, what is this one thing? Killua is sweating. Mind you, this whole time, Killua has been sweating. We haven't seen Killua nervous ever since he showed up. But he's nervous right now. Well, speak up. There's really nothing, is there?
There is! I want to be friends with Gon. I'm so tired of killing. I just want to be a kid. Hanging out, doing stuff. With Gon. That's it.
And then Illumi says, that's not happening. You are incapable of friendship, of seeing anyone as anything except a target. This is the essence of your existence, and we taught you accordingly. Gon is a novelty, a radiant presence who has piqued your curiosity. No more than that. I like doing this voice for Illumi. I completely forgot what Illumi's voice sounded like in the anime. It still feels like there's something in front of my face, but I'm good now. I think I got it. But I like doing this voice for Illumi. To me, it just seems like it fits.
No.
If you try to be friends with him, you will one day want to kill him. It's that simple. Killing him will be the only thing that will matter because... And then Killua is starting to clench his fist as Illumi says, you are by nature a murderer. And then Leoriel starts to walk up. And then the MC goes, I've warned you already. Hey, I'm not interfering. I just got something to say. Killua, listen! This brother of yours is a jerk. He's full of it. Take him down and pass already. As for being friends with Gon, no sweat, man, you already are! Gon sure thinks so anyway. And then this catches Killua's attention. Does he? You mean that? Every flippin' word, Pinboy! That's a problem. Thinking he's friends with Killua. Guess I'll have to kill him. And this catches everyone's attention, except for Chairman Netero and Hisoka. Mind you, it shows their faces, but they're not bothered by this. But Leorio, Karapika, and especially Killua are already... that catches their attention, especially Killua's, because his pupils go white. Assassins have no use for friends. They get in the way. And Killua isn't saying anything, as Illumi takes those same needles that contorted his face, and he puts them between his fingers. Where is he? Wait, the match is still underway. And one of the MCs walks over to Illumi before Illumi plants these needles directly into one of these these side MC's face, and then dude's face just starts forcibly cracking and contorting. It's like looking at someone being punched by Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star and watching their whole body contort before they blow up. Here, this dude's face isn't blowing up. Not yet, anyway.
Where is Gon?
Through that door there. And dude falls to the ground as his face starts contorting uncontrollably.
Thanks.
Then some footsteps step in the way, and it's not only Leorio, it's not only Kurapika, it's also Hanzo and all other security members moving in front of the door to keep Illumi from going after Gon. Yo, Mihai, it's good to see you.
This could be a problem. Getting this license is important for my work. If I kill these people, I'll fail the exam and Kill will get an automatic pass. Oops. If I kill Gon, the same applies. Ah, that's it. First, I'll pass the exam, and then kill Gon.
And mind you, Killua has been frozen with shock here this whole time, hearing this.
There's no revoking my license even if I then killed everyone here, right?
And then Netero, just listening to this whole conversation, goes,
"There's no rule that says you couldn't."
And then Killua's, hold on. There we go. Woo!
"There's no rule that says you couldn't."
And then Killua, still sweating, still looking at Illumi in his direction, though Illumi has his back turned to him.
What do you think, Kill? There's only one way to save Gon, and that's for you to fight me and win. But is saving Gon the reason you would fight me at this point? I rather doubt it. You're not even thinking about your friend right now. The only question in your mind is whether you can beat me or not.
And this freezes up Killua again!
And you have your answer already. You have no chance against me.
As he starts walking towards Killua.
Never go up against a superior opponent. I made sure I hammered that lesson home.
And he starts reaching closer and closer and closer to Killua. So glad I cut my nail so that you're not just seeing very, very long nails in your face. But he starts reaching towards Killua. And Killua starts to stumble a little bit.
Don't move. Your very next move will signal the beginning of this battle. It will be that, or when my fingers touch you. There is only one other option, and it's your choice. However, if you choose it, your precious Gon will die.
And Killua's still frozen, as Illumi's fingers get closer and closer and closer. And then Leorio speaks up.
Tell him to go suck in there, Killua. You don't have to worry about Gon. If this goon makes a try for him, we'll bust his butt. That's a promise. So do what you want.
And he gets closer and closer and closer until Killua says,
You win, Illumi. I admit defeat.
And he says this for all to hear, shocking both Kurapika and Leorio. And then Illumi stops. And then the background behind him lights up because he was getting closer and closer to Killua. And then it was just like a dark background behind him. But now it's light as he goes,
Oh, good. No need for us to fight, eh? As for Gon, just kidding. I won't touch him. This was all about testing you. And that test proves you're just not qualified to make friends. Not that you need any.
And he says this while he's leaning in towards Killua and putting his hand on his head.
You'll keep doing what you've always done. The job Dad and I trained you to do. You don't need a hunter license yet.
but someday you might. I'll let you know. Something drained. Oh, and then I believe this is back to Sato's explaining what happened.
Something drained out of Killua then. He wouldn't respond to Leorio, Kurapika, or anyone. Then, unexpectedly, at the very start of the match between Leorio and Bodoro, he just walked out there and
it shows Bodoro, who's the big burly dude with the top knot, the big wonderful mustache that Netero says like, ooh, he has good fashion sense. It shows Killua basically just lunging and stabbing his hand straight through Bodoro's chest.
And at the very start of the match between Leorio and Bodoro, he just walked out there and...
This match was between Leorio and Bodoro. Killua walked out there and killed him.
The committee failed him, of course.
And it shows Gon running up to a door and opening it. And it shows everybody in this classroom, what appears to be like this little mini auditorium. And it shows Illumi, and then it shows Gon. And that is the end of chapter 36. Onwards to chapter 37! Chapter 37, Light and Darkness, Part 3. Hold on. Let me reduce the light just a bit, because me being up here is kind of bright on camera that I can see there. Sorry about that, everybody. But Light and Darkness, Part 3. And it shows this classroom, everyone sitting in different spots, Hanzo sitting in a section all by himself, and everybody looking at Gon, except for Illumi. And then we have Leorio. Hey, Gon. And then Gon walks past him and walks directly over to Illumi, who doesn't even give him the time of day. He doesn't even look at him.
You will apologize to Killua.
Apologize? For what? You don't even know? Oh wait, apologize? For what? And then Gon says, I had to figure out who was saying who.
You don't even know?
No.
You're not qualified to be his brother.
I wasn't aware I needed to qualify. And then all of a sudden, Gon grabs Illumi by the wrist. And then, with his other, because remember, Hanzo broke his left arm. With his other available arm, grabs Illumi by the wrist, and then flings him out of his chair. Surprising everyone, even Hisoka opened his mouth in surprise. And then he stands, and then... even though Illumi is being flung, he manages to right himself, but he's still in Gon's grip.
Friends don't need to qualify either.
And it shows that Gon's grip strength is so strong that it looks like he's breaking Illumi's arm right then and there. That's how strong Gon's grip is. He's breaking Illumi's arm, he's breaking his wrist just by standing there. And Illumi's just looking at his arm. It looks like his arm is snapping, but Illumi's just looking at it. And Gon still has that serious face with Illumi thinking, well now. And then Gon turns to tries to drag Illumi, saying,
come on, let's go see Killua. The apology doesn't matter. Just take me to him, okay?
And after that, what?
I'll bring him back, that's what. What else?
You make it sound as if he was kidnapped. He walked out by choice on his own.
You know it wasn't his choice. You manipulated him, kidnapping his spirit.
And everyone's listening. And then Netero speaks up.
A point we were about to examine, Gon.
And then Gon, his angry expression changes to one of slight calm while he's still holding on to Illumi.
Kurapika and Leorio both lodged protests alleging that Killua's failure was induced by outside influence.
And then Kurapika speaks up. I maintain Killua was compelled to act in an uncharacteristic manner.
perhaps by a hypnotic suggestion triggered by his opponent. It is generally not possible to hypnotically direct a person to commit murder, but Killua quite clearly has no mental, emotional, or moral obstacles to killing when so moved.
And then Leorio speaks up.
And then there's this. He killed Boldero when we were about to engage. Killua's act could be interpreted as intending to aid my cause. So shouldn't I fail instead of Killua?
And then Kurapika again.
In any event, Killua did not act on his own accord. Failing him is, therefore, unjust.
Interesting, but conjectural. There's no proof. As far as we could see, there were no clear indications of murder. Furthermore, there's not enough evidence to claim he was hypnotized. As for him stepping into Leorio's and Boldero's match, the two named contestants were well matched. Boldero had more overall experience. While it was plain that Leorio held an edge in combat skill, in short, you didn't need him butting in.
And then Leorio just goes, And then Pakal speaks up.
Let's not stop there, then. What about the match between Kurapika and Hisoka? Hisoka whispered something, and then with both of you still fit as fiddles, he declared defeat. I find that strange. In fact, bizarre.
I like all this speaking. This doesn't feel like too much speaking to me. I actually like the dialogue.
In fact, bizarre. If Hisoka had conveyed some kind of threat, as Hanzo had done with me, then Kurapika would have resigned. That would have been the expectation, at least.
And then... But, oh wait, this is still Pakal.
But exactly the opposite happened. Can one only wonder if he spoke of an understanding between you? If odd behavior is the basis of your protest, then your past is similarly suspect. Of course, you could clear that up by telling us what he said. I would rather not. Don't you think you're obliged to? No. If my past is suspect, then a win by default is downright unseemly. Say what?
And then Hanzo speaks up.
Cool it, Shrimp. Let's just get this over with. I'd like to go home.
And then Gon speaks up.
This is all pointless. Everyone here has passed. Each of us is either satisfied that he has measured up, or he can do whatever it takes to be satisfied. There's no question Killua would pass if he took the exam again, but he's failed this time. Too bad, end of story. But...
And then it shows Gon still very much holding on to Illumi's arm.
But if Killua's a killer because you've made him one Gitaracker, then I'll never forgive you.
And mind you, there's still the creaking sound that's going on.
What will that mean to me?
Simple. I'll take Killua away, and you'll never see him again.
And Gon is still very much holding on to Illumi's arm. And while he's doing that, Illumi starts to reach towards his arm. And then Gon immediately lets go. And then Netero speaks up. Because Gon is just staring. They're both Illumi and Gon are staring at each other. And then Netero speaks up.
That settled then? Good. Gon is right. It's up to each of you to decide if you truly deserve your license. We don't overturn our decisions based on the sorts of quibbles you've brought up. Killua has failed the exam this year, while each of you here has passed. I will now resume the briefing and ask your indulgence while I recap.
And then we get the attendee that's always with Netero. But also, I hope everybody's day's been fine. It's such an honor to see you all here today. But to the little dude that's always with Netero,
you have each been passed a card. This is your license. It may not look like much, and in and of itself, it isn't outside of possessing various cutting-edge anti-forgery systems that make its duplication nigh impossible. But what it signifies is something else again. It enables you to enter 90% of the countries and 75% of the areas for which access by the general public is restricted, even prohibited. You may use 95% of public facilities at no cost. Banks will treat you as if you were a top-rated company. If you sold it, the proceeds would easily support 7 generations of your family. It should guarantee you material comfort for the rest of your life. Take care that it is not lost or stolen. You cannot get it replaced. Be advised that statistically, 1 in 5 hunters loses his license in some way within the first year of obtaining it. I don't think it could happen. I don't think it couldn't happen to you. In fact, your first priority as a hunter is to protect your license. Let's move on to the association bylaws.
And then time passes. Despite being on the road for 13 hours, it was a great day. Oh, when you're done, I hope and pray you get plenty of rest, Mihai. Goodness, 13 hours on the road.
Let's move on to the association bylaws.
Time passes, and
that concludes the briefing. From here on out, it's your show. Believe in yourselves and keep working towards your dreams.
That's what I say to you. That's what I say to all of you. Believe in yourselves and keep working towards your dreams.
We now certify you 7 applicants as licensed hunters.
Leorio, Karapika, Gon, Hanzo, Paco, Gitaraka, aka Illumi, and Hisoka. 7. Sorry, I didn't put up the other finger for the extra person. And then Gon walks up to Illumi.
Gitaraka, where did Killua go?
Following him isn't a good idea.
Don't give me that!
And then he sticks his tongue out.
Killua is my friend! I'll get him back, I swear it!
Same go for these two.
And then Leorio just goes, I can't tell if he's saying, he just goes, natch. As in naturally? I didn't realize that natch was a short-term way of saying naturally. Natch.
Okay, since you can't get there anyway, Kill just went home. And home is a house on the summit of Kukuru Mountain.
And it shows a giant mountain in a giant shadow, but it's just like Addams Family type creepy. And that is the end. Yeah, that is the end, ladies and gentlemen, of Chapter 37. Onwards to Chapter 38. You know, when I got into this series, I didn't think I was under the impression. I was under the impression that, you know, when Ravi explained that it was like dialogue heavy, I thought it was going to be like really, really bad, or just like so heavy that getting through a chapter would take me forever. But no. These sessions tend to be like an hour or just a little over an hour in length, and it's like, wow, this is fine. This is fine. I don't know why I was thinking like, oh no, it's going to be so long. Each chapter is going to be like 45 pages, but no, it's not bad at all. Chapter 38, Ging Freaks. Y'all said Ging. It's not Ging, it's Ging. And then we get Netero.
All right, once you leave this building, you will be our equals, our colleagues, and our rivals. Until we meet again, take care. You are dismissed.
So all the people who passed the exam, think about it. When we started, there were hundreds upon hundreds of applicants. And now we're only down to 7 people passing. Hundreds! There was over 300 people who tried to take part in this. Hundreds of people died, and only 7 passed. Can you imagine? But the door closes, and everyone starts to go their separate ways, as we cut to Leorio, Gon, and Karapika on their own. And then Illumi's looking at him, and Hisoka's in the background.
You told him? Do you think that was wise? I don't care. It's hardly a secret. We're locally famous. Once they get there, they'll realize that our worlds are drastically different.
And then Hisoka is just looking down at Illumi, and Illumi looks down because he still looks at the arm that Gon apparently broke, like full on broke. Because we see like the grip marks still on his arm, and his arm is also swollen.
Oh, this? Yes, it's broken.
And Hisoka's eyes kind of widen at the prospect.
He's interesting, that one. I can understand your concern for his future. Uh-huh. That makes him quite dangerous to me, however. I'd like to deal with that.
And then Illumi looks over at Hisoka, and that smile he had on his face is gone. It's gone. I was about to say that smile he had on his face is gone, but that smile on his face is gone. Hunter x Hunter is a great show. Yeah, it is. Reading through the manga, getting all of that series back in my mind again about those events. I'm so glad to be reading through it again. This is my first time reading through the manga, so I can't wait to read the rest of it. But also, hi, Adam. I hope your day has been swell. But Illumi says,
I'd like to deal with that.
Looks over at Hisoka. Hisoka is no longer smiling as he goes,
Gon is mine, friend. You make a move on him, you die. So noted. I haven't known you long, but I can gauge your tastes. So what now? I'll wait. And when the fruit is ripe, I'll pluck it.
And it's just like his cheeks are getting slightly red, his eyes are rolling up in his head again. It's all like,
I'll pluck it.
Like he's really enjoying the prospect of taking on Gon when Gon gets stronger. And Illumi's just looking at him like, you're kind of weird, bruh. But back to Leorio and everyone else.
Kukuru Mountain, huh? Never heard of it. Ring a bell with you, Kurapika?
And then Kurapika doesn't really say anything.
Well? What?
What?
This mountain where Killua lives. Got any idea where it is?
Me? No idea. Sorry. But we can find out. It will just take some surfing.
Surfing?
Well, and then Leorio's kind of looking at Kurapika because he realized something's not entirely right with him at the moment either. And then Hanzo walks up.
Hey, I'm headed home. For all the fury, I had a blast. If you're ever in my country, look me up. I'll give you the serious tour. No tourist traps.
Hanzo, Cloud Hidden Village, Jonin. And then Kurapika speaks up with,
that is one self-assured ninja.
And then Hanzo leaves. And then we just got Pakal, who's still left behind, and he talks to Kurapika.
Sorry about my snottiness back there. Well, I did not conduct myself well either.
What irritated me was that you were right. To me, the end of the exam seems very anticlimactic. I just needed to vent a little, I guess. It's cool now. As for the validity of my license, it's what I do from now on that matters, right? I'm gonna search the world for scientifically undocumented animals as a hunter of fantastic beasts.
So is he gonna write a book of fantastic beasts and where to find them? Possible.
I can troll for info on other stuff while I'm at it. Anything for you, Gon?
I am trying to find a hunter named Ging. Any hint or rumor will do.
Ging. Right. Got a picture?
Sure.
And then Pakal is looking.
How about you guys?
Not right now.
And Leorio's still looking at Kurapika.
Well, if you think of anything, here's my home code.
Thank you. This is mine.
And mine. And then Gon is just looking at him. And Pakal goes,
I better get yours too, Gon.
What's a home code?
And everyone's looking at Gon like, how do you not know?
Sorry, Gon. I forgot you applied without knowing anything about hunting. Home code gives access to a system that's like an answering machine.
Since hunters are usually out and about, hither and yon all over the world, we need a way to keep in touch. The home code system was set up for just that. You can retrieve messages via cell phone from wherever you are.
Oh wait, that's Leorio. Sorry, that was Leorio.
Sorry, Gon, I forgot about you. I forgot you apply without knowing anything about hunting. A home code gives access to a system that's like an answering machine. Since hunters are usually out and about, hither and yon, all over the world, we need a way to keep in touch. The home code system was set up just for that. You can retrieve messages via cell phone from wherever you are.
How did I flub that again?
Via cell phone from wherever you are. Of course, it's best to keep messages short, simple, and secret-free. You want to use code words and exchange crucial information only in person.
And this stuff about surfing?
That, my boy, involves cyberspace.
And then Kurapika speaks up.
It is a sort of electronic universal encyclopedia, Gon. By purchasing your own phone line and a registration number, you gain access to all the information that can be found on any computer in the world. That's right, of course, most of it's kind of trivial, outright garbage, really littered with stupid rumors. But it's still the best source for the real nitty-gritty.
And then Paco speaks up.
Going there to look stuff up is called surfing. Here's a registration card.
I see.
A home code, a cell phone, and cyberspace registration. And a hunter's three primary communication tools. You should get set up with them, Gon.
And then Gon is having a tricky time just trying to remember everything. Oh, and this is Kurapika.
You can surf with a hunter's license, too. Oh yeah, they did mention that.
They did? I wasn't listening.
And with a hunter license, cyberspace is available to you for free. Would you like to give it a try?
I'll pass. I don't want to use it yet.
Come on, Gon, that's silly. All right, we will use mine.
And then Paco speaks up.
When you get a home code, call me, okay?
Okay. Thanks.
Later, guys.
And then Paco leaves. And then Leori speaks up.
What say we take off too?
Oh, hang on! Mr. Satotes!
And then Gon runs up to Satotes while Menchi and the other dude walk away. And then he goes into his pocket, and then takes something out and says,
Can you tell me what this is?
Huh?
Someone I know, dropped it. I'd always assumed it was a hunter license.
Well, I'll be. This is a double-star hunter certificate.
And he's messing with it. And then he flips it around, and then Satotes' face shows utter surprise.
Gon, may I ask who this someone was?
He called himself Kite. Why?
Because this card was awarded to a hunter named Ging. Here's the certification number. You'll find one on your license as well. The last 3 digits signify the term of your exam. This year is term 287. However, in term 267, only one applicant passed, and he was a man called Ging.
Is there anything you can tell me about him?
Well, what I know is that he's the man who excavated the Lurker ruins. I tried to dig up more information on him, but Ging is a mystery. I came up empty, much to my chagrin. You might surf for him.
Sure, I'll do that.
Because remember, he doesn't know anything about surfing the internet or looking for anything like that. He's literally a backwaters dude.
The results will paint quite a picture.
Okay, I can't wait.
And then Gon is slightly smiling because he realizes what he has in his hands.
Kite left me Dad's card.
And his heart is pounding because he's holding something that belongs to his father, who he's searching for.
Gon, could you tell me how to get in touch with Kite?
Oh, well.
So
you see, I really owe him, but I have no idea how to find him.
I see.
If I see him again, I'll ask.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sawtoads.
Ta, by the way.
And then Gon looks at him, then he goes,
Never mind. Take care.
Sure will. Bye.
and then Gon runs over to Kurapika and Leorio. And then Sato's is speaking.
Strange kid. I feel quite moved to help him.
And then Menchi comes up.
You almost told him, eh?
Yes, I nearly let slip that the hunter exam is not quite done.
Woo! They've been lied to. The exam is not over. But it shows them going into like a computer cafe and them starting to use the internet in order to look up some information. And then Kurapika is the one who's searching on cyberspace, which shows like a brain in the computer.
Kukuru Mountain.
Kukuru Mountain, residents of Pandokia, Dentora region. Elevation 12,211 feet.
Padokia? Where's that? The world map indicates we are here, and it is right there. The Republic of Padokia is... Or it could be Padokia, but I just want to say Padokia. The Republic of Padokia is fortunately open to tourists. The journey is 3 days by airship. When shall we leave? And then Leorio goes, Today, of course! All right. I will make reservations.
Could you search for Ging while you're at it?
Sure. I will query the hunter index and enter. Several Gings here. His last name?
Freaks.
Freaks. Search. And then something flashes in front of Kurapika. Just this.
Designated top secret.
No info at all?
None we can access, and this makes it clear we should not query.
Wait, this is still a Kurapika, but Leorio goes, no info at all? And then Kurapika, none we can access, and this makes it clear we should not query Ging Freaks again. He must be entered into the confidential members database. For an individual to manage that, he would need the authority of a national executive and a vast personal fortune. Seems your old man's no small potatoes, Gon.
The results will paint quite a picture.
And this is just Gon going,
Yeah.
and then a beep pops up. And that's the end. A question mark beep pops up, and that's the end of chapter 38. Onwards to chapter... This chapter is so old, like 1995, they need to explain internet. Yeah, ain't that something? The chapters we're reading came out in the 90s. See, I was already born around that time, but wow, that's how old this chapter is. This chapter is older than One Piece. But that's the end of 38. Onwards to 39. 44 is the last one. Chapter 39, Intruder. And they're on an airship, and they make it to the Padokia region. Yeah, they make it to Padokia, and they're exploring. They're looking at all these different places, and they get on a train. And then we get Leorio going, there she blows. Because out the window, we see Kukuru Mountain. Creepy. Easy to imagine assassins living there somewhere. We will have to ask around. Hotel first, and we have to make a plan.
Take it easy. We're just here to see a friend. Hey, look!
And Gon is just enjoying himself like any kid would. But Leorio and Kurapika are all like, we're going to the home of assassins. How are you taking this in stride? So carefree. Then we see a marketplace, and we get a lady at a stand going,
Kukuru Mountain? Sightseers checking out the Zoldyck estate, eh?
Zoldyck?
Sightseers checking out the Zoldyck estate, eh? Best bets to catch the daily bus tour that runs around the mountains. Up to the house? Everyone asks about that. Be content with the tour, okay?
And then we get a tour bus, and we get the nice-looking lady who's doing the tour.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for choosing Lamentation.
Lamentation tours? I don't know if I like a tour that starts with lamentation. I don't know if I trust a guided tour when it spells out depression or gloom and doom. Lamentation?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for choosing Lamentation Tours. We'll begin with a look at the murderous clan that calls Dendora home.
Murderous clan. So the moment you say lamentation, you get my attention. Then when you say we'll take a look at the murderous clan that calls Dendora home. Murderous? I'm getting off the bus.
We'll begin with a look at the murderous clan that calls Dendora home.
There are some clearly shady dudes among the punters. And Leorio says this concerning some suspicious dudes that are on the bus with them.
And there, directly to your left, is Kukuru Mountain, an extinct volcano 12,211 feet high, surrounded by thick forest. It's home to the notorious Zoldyck family. While their mansion is known to be somewhere on the mountain, no one has ever seen it. The family presently consists of 5 siblings, the parents, a set of grandparents, and a great-grandfather. Assassins all! We'll drive up as close as we're able.
And then they get close. And then Leorio, Gon, and Kurapika get out. Oh. And we see like this gigantic, massive gate in front. Quite a sight.
We're at their front gate, known as the door to Hades. Since once you go in, you don't come out alive. There is, however, a sort of service door by the guard booth. As we have no access, this is as far as we go.
What? We're hardly anywhere near the mountain.
True, but the entire mountain and its forests are Zoldyck property.
And then that's when they realize, oh no, this is bad. It's not just the mansion that's their property, it's the whole mountain range that belongs to them. Do you realize how rich you gotta be to not only own a gigantic mansion on top of a dormant volcano, but also the surrounding area around it? How rich you gotta be? They rolling in money. Jeez, that's some front yard. And then Gon speaks up.
Excuse me. Yes? How do you gain access?
And then the woman just goes,
Weren't you listening? Sure, but this is the estate of murderers. You don't want access.
and then those 2 mysterious dudes come up. 2 suspicious dudes who were on the bus go, "It's all a bluff. They stay hidden to create mystery. I hear there's 100 million reward just for them mugshots." What? Now they tell me. They rely on their mystique to shield them. The reality is probably less perilous or interesting. And they walk up to the security booth, and the bigger dude out of this duo, rips the door off the hinges and grabs the security guard by the throat. Hey! Open the gate. No! Let me down! The master of the house would not approve! He's gonna die, so that's hardly a worry. So, it's not here on the page, but I see immediate red flags by this dude saying this. But the bigger dude grabs the key and then tosses the security guard. And then they unlock the door. And then they slam the door behind them. Ugh.
You okay?
Sure, kid. Thanks. It's those guys who are about to meet Mike.
Huh?
And then there's a creaking sound. And then the door opens. And how should I put this? The skeletons of the 2 dudes who just bogarted their way into the gate. After manhandling the security guard, They're skinless, lifeless, meatless bodies. Just nothing but their skeletons with their skulls literally cracked open as if something bit on them. Their whole bodies literally were devoured and only their bones are left. And mind you, the thing is, they still got their clothes on. So whatever killed them around their clothes, but left their skeleton in it. And all we just see is this big, giant, monstrous hand drop both of their skeletons outside the door. And then everyone screams. And then Leorio just goes, "Holy! The master hates it when he snacks between meals. Don't blame those extra tons on me, Mike." Sheesh. And then Kurapika just goes, "What was that?" Sorry. I had to turn my volume down there for a moment there. Sorry about that, everyone, because I just wanted to make sure the audio was fine. But yeah, we're good. What was that? Who cares? Run away. Very fast.
As you just witnessed, folks, once inside, you don't come out. Not all of you, anyway.
Fine, whatever. Just get us out of here. But Leorio, Kurapika, and Gon remain. Hey, you idiots, get back on the bus!
I think we'll stay here. Thanks. You go on without us.
And everyone is shocked to hear Gon say, like, yeah, we're gonna stay, after witnessing two dudes walk in through a door and a second later, two skeletons get dropped outside that same door. But time passes. And then someone is speaking. What do you know, actual friends of young... who's saying this? Oh.
What do you know? Actual friends of young Master Killua.
Okay, it's a security guard. I couldn't tell.
I've been at this post 20 years, and you're the first visitors to claim friendship with any member of the Zoldyx. I'm not one to disparage my employer, but this really is a very lonely, dreary place. Guys like these are always coming along, but as you see, they're not warmly received.
Dude, and took the bones of those two dudes who tried to break their way in. You see, when I said death flags, I knew it was going to happen, but that was, even by death standards, that was fast. Oh, the master is going to die, so you don't need to worry about that. Y'all didn't even get past the front gates. Y'all didn't even get away from the vicinity of the door that leads into their estate. And you thought you were going to take down the master of this estate? They died in seconds. Sorry.
Guys like these are always coming along, but as you see, they're not warmly received. Murder is a grim trade. But I thank you for coming. It's been lovely. No sweat. Unfortunately, this is as far as you go.
And then it's silent.
That enormous arm you saw belongs to Mac, the Zoldyx guard dog. He only obeys family members who've trained him to take his job very seriously. He has a standing order given 10 years ago that he adheres to faithfully, catch and kill all intruders. Well, he also eats them, which is a bit beyond his mandate. Anyway, he effectively bars anyone from going in. There. I don't imagine the young master would appreciate you being stripped down to skeletons.
And Kurapika's just looking at the guard dude. You have a key to the gate. Why have it unless you do go inside on occasion? Oh, wait. No, first he says, so how do you deal with Mike?
Eh?
You have a key to the gate. Why have it unless you do go inside on occasion?
Good point. But you're only half right there. I don't go inside, but I do go inside, but I don't use this key. You see, this is just for intruders.
Huh?
Most are so arrogantly predictable, swaggering right up and making demands, and when they see they can't open the gate, they try to break it down. It's a real pain. So we installed a bogus service door next to the gate. The intruders get the key from me, and Mike does the rest.
A bogus service door. I see.
And you've no doubt realized I'm not a gatekeeper. Truth is, I'm just a glorified janitor who cleans up after Mike.
The real gate, on the other hand, is not locked.
That's right.
What? And then Leorio walks outside of the security booth and goes up to the front door and then just tries to push it open. But he can't even move it.
And the blasted thing won't move. Have you tried lifting it? You're not strong enough. Me? I'm stronger than you, Pops. Is that so? Its real name is the testing gate. If you're not able to open it, then you're deemed unworthy to enter.
As the security dude not only takes off his shirt and shows gargantuan muscles out of nowhere, which means that if he wanted to, this dude could have handled both of those guys no problem. He just let Mike sort him out. Everyone is shocked to see just how built and muscly this janitor. The janitor. It's like those YouTube videos of the dude who's like ridiculously strong, but he looks like an unassuming janitor inside of a gym, and he's lifting stuff that people normally wouldn't be able to lift, and they're just looking at him like, he's just a janitor. How is he doing all that? But those clothes actually hide how strong he actually is. It's literally that.
If you're not able to open it, then you're deemed unworthy to enter.
Ha! And then with his strength, he opens the doors. Stronger than you, old man. Sure, Leorio. And everyone is shocked to see just how strong he is. But then the doors close.
Whew! The doors shut automatically, so you have to move fast. Thing is, I'm getting old. I won't be able to do this much longer. Attack no one who enters through the testing gate. That's Mike's other standing order. You see, the first door weighs 2 tons each.
2 ton? 2 tons?
How could anyone open... Hey, you said the first doors. Yep. See there? 7 in all.
Oh. So the gate that we see is made up of multiple doors. What we've seen is the first gate. What we've seen is the first gate, and that's 2 tons. There are at least 6 more doors that can be opened.
See there? 7 in all. Oh. The tonnage doubles with each set of doors.
Doubles?
The more force you put in, the more doors you open. When Master Killua returned, he opened 3 of them.
3, which would be 12 tons.
16, actually.
And it shows Killua when he came back opening 3 sets of doors all at once. 12 tons. Just imagine being able to move 12 tons like it's nothing.
That's what it takes to get inside, I'm afraid. They truly live in their own world.
Their own world. I don't like it. May I borrow the key?
Huh?
I'm not here to be tested. I just want to see my friend. If that means being an intruder, fine.
And that's the end of the chapter. End of chapter 39. Onwards to chapter 40. Yeah, this is good. Chapter 40. The Zoldyx, Part 1.
May I have the key, please? I'll risk entering as an intruder. You can refuse, but it won't matter. I'll climb the walls if I have to.
And then Leorio speaks up. You nuts? Did you see that thing? It had a paw bigger than you!
I just don't like it. I mean, testing one's friends? That's crass. I won't use that gate.
I get your point, kid, and I agree with you, but you're nothing more than Mike Chow if you use that key.
That is obvious. Taking a test is better than suicide. Gon.
And then Gon is still holding his hand out, waiting for the key to be given to him.
Blast it, he's dug in his heels.
I won't give you the key, and that's that. But I can't have you climbing that wall to meet the same fate. Just wait here, okay?
And then he goes over and puts a code in and goes,
Hello? Zebro calling from the front gate.
Zebro. I should have called them Zebros. Oh my, that's what they are from Donkey Kong Bonanza, from the Frozen Lair. The zebras on the Frozen Lair, they're not zebras, they're Zebros. They're Zebros! Why didn't I think of calling? I missed my window to call them Zebros in Donkey Kong Bonanza. Even though they ended all of their conversations in bra. I could have just called, they were Zebros. Oh! I could have been calling them that the whole time. I'm sorry.
Hello? Zebro calling from the front gate. I have 3 of young Master Killua's friends here, and... Yes. Uh-huh. Oh, I do apologize. Yes. I understand. I just thought I'd check. Thank you. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
What is Zebro? What is Zebro? Okay, so Zebro's not so you know the actual, well, it's just a mixture of zebra and bro. So you know how I'm always calling saying like, you see this, bro? You see this, bro? So it's just a combination of zebra and bro. So instead of calling them zebras, we can call them zebros. Like bros, but just Z in front. It's a little bit of a play on words. That was the whole thing. Yeah, it was that. I could have called them zebros the entire time.
Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
You called up the house for us?
Yes, but I only spoke with their butler. The butlers handle all their communications. I rarely ever speak with a family member.
Could you let me talk to him?
Sure, but it won't get you anywhere, I'm afraid.
And then he calls him up again, and then someone answers.
Zoldyck Butler Chambers.
Hello? My name is Gon, a friend of Killua's. Could I speak to him, please?
And then there's silence, and then the person on the other side says,
Master Killua has no friends. Good day.
And then hangs up on Gon. And then Gon calls him up again.
Zoldyck Butler Chambers.
How do you know he has no friends? You put Killua on the phone right now!
And then the person on the other side goes,
Did you say your name is Gon?
Yes.
I see. If Master Killua does have a friend named Gon, how am I to determine that you are he?
Put him on the phone. He'll know.
By your voice, that is no guarantee.
Just put him on the phone. He'll know.
And it's Gon's voice being played back to him.
That was a recording, but voices are all too easy to mimic. While I could convey your image, which is not nearly so easy to fake as a voice, it's still altogether out of the question. You could be Gon, but under coercion by some enemy of Master Killua's. So long as that possibility exists, I cannot get Master Killua involved. By the nature of their trade, the Zoldicks have made many enemies. It is our duty to prevent these enemies from getting anywhere near our masters.
And the person who is speaking is this well-tailored dude with like we don't see his full suit, but he's got like glasses and long sideburns and like a very clean fade and like a little bit of a goatee and just like a kind of a lazy appearance.
It is our duty to prevent these enemies from getting anywhere near our masters.
I will therefore ask you to leave. And then hangs up on Gon again. Then there's silence, and then Gon starts to make his way over to the side of the security booth, with Leorio going, "Hey, Gon! He's mad." And Gon is definitely angry from this dude saying this. "Come on, Gon, you can't!" And then he takes his fishing rod and hooks over onto the wall. "Oh man, don't do it!"
You two wait here. I gotta do this myself.
"No way, we can't let you." Will you two calm down? You forced my hand. Here's the key, Gon. At least enter through the door. Hang on, we'll make him see sense. Think so? The lad seems pretty determined. However, I'll go through the door with him.
What?
Mike knows me, and there's a chance he might not attack if I'm with you. It's an enormous long shot, though. I don't want you
to risk your life. I don't want to risk your life.
It's my risk. I wouldn't want to stay behind because I could never face young Master Killua if I let one of his friends just walk in and add to Mike's weight problem. If you die, I'd do well to die too, and, well, that's that.
And then Gon rescinds his fishing rod and goes,
I'm sorry. I didn't realize I'd get you in trouble.
And then Leorio and Karafika are smiling. And so is Zebro.
This is a good kid. Passionate, steadfast, and true to his friends, and ready to put aside personal grievances for the sake of others. He's confident that with the three of them working together, they can handle just about anything. He's not scared of Mike, and I bet that's because... You love animals, don't you, Gon?
Huh? Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I bet you grew up playing in the wilderness.
That's right. How'd you know?
I'm going to open this gate again so you can get a good look at Mike.
And then Zebro opens up the gate, and the door opens so we can see Mike. And they all make their way inside. Mind you, it's nighttime. Are you sure this is safe? And this is Leorio.
As houses, young man, don't worry. Fluffy, come on out, come out! Not that I really have to call him.
And then it shows something moving in the brush, and it moves towards Gon, and it's this gigantic wolf creature that just towers over Gon, and it's just staring at him. And then Gon is looking at it, but then the creature just flops over.
You understand now, Gon? Mike is a highly trained hunting beast, not like no animal, like no animal you've ever encountered in the wild. You believe you could communicate with him until you looked into his eyes, right?
And then apparently Mike is just staring. Fluffy is just staring at him.
He's noting the look and smell of people who are new to him. He finds nothing else of interest. In truth, he's just a living machine. He responds solely to commands and would even attack me on that basis. Think you could tackle him?
And then Gon just shakes his head.
No, he really scares the spit out of me.
An honest lad, too. All right, follow me then.
Huh?
The servants' quarters are this way. We'll put you up for the night.
And we cut to a building that's literally just beyond the gate. Got these creatures just living here, but it's just beyond the gate.
Hey, we got guests. How about that? Zebro, doesn't take a liking to just anybody. Come on in, make yourselves at home. To what extent you can, anyway.
And we have no idea who this dude is here at the servants' quarters.
Right, try pushing these doors open.
And Gon tries, and they don't budge.
Whoa, tough.
Because they weigh 440 pounds each. We have to work out constantly around here. Go on, put your back into it.
And then Leorio manages to force the doors open.
There's slippers for you. 44 pound each, by the way.
44-pound bedroom slippers. Huh? 44 pounds? On your feet. For you to be able to walk around naturally, you gotta walk around in slippers that weigh 44 pounds. Weighted shoes.
There's slippers for you. 44 pounds each, by the way.
Oh, no, wait, that's the other guy.
There's slippers for you. 44 pounds each, by the way.
Fresh hot tea, too, in 44-pound mugs, so sip carefully. You're here on tourist visas?
Yes.
And it wants to note that the chair weighs 132 pounds. The chair weighs 132 pounds. You're not just easily sliding this chair out. That thing is 132 pounds.
You're here on tourist visas?
Yes.
So you can stay in Padokia a month at most. If you'd like, you can train in this house. You could make for the mountain from here, but wouldn't that be cheating a bit? You're young, 1 month here, and you should be able to handle the first door, in fact. The three of you could tackle it together. Teamwork's a valid approach.
As Gon said, we do not like tests.
But if there's no other fair way,
Then this is the way we go. You're on, bud. We'll train up.
And then Zebro's smiling.
You'll wear weighted vests at all times, except the bed. We'll start at 110 pounds and add on gradually. You're a sturdy young fella. I bet you'll be able to open that door by yourself soon enough.
And then, just like that, we cut to time later, and Leorio is able to open those same doors that he wasn't able to open the first time he got there.
Leorio, that's awesome!
Awesome is healing a broken arm in 10 days.
Because now Gon's arm is fine. Because it was broken this whole time we've been having this conversation, but now his arm is fine.
Awesome is healing a broken arm in 10 days.
Well, I never figured.
And jumping like a flea in a 330-pound weight in 330-pound weights.
So not only is Gon's arm fine, but he's also jumping for joy because Leorio was able to open the doors while wearing a weighted vest.
Well, I never figured soon enough would be barely 2 weeks.
Yeah, man! Now we go in fair and square!
I also never figured I'd see the day when a real contender would show up. And here I got 3.
And that's the end of chapter 40. Onwards to chapter 41. These are some very good chapters. Can I just say this? I'm liking the dialogue of these chapters. Chapter 41, The Zoldix Part 2.
Thanks again, Zebro! Sequent! Or Sequent?
Yes, Sequent.
Sequent, you've been great!
Shucks, you all take care now.
We will!
Now just follow this path to the mountain. The mansion's up there somewhere. 20 years here and I've never been there. Hope I've steered you right.
I'm sure you have.
And then as Leorio, Karapika, and Gon prepare to go, we just get Zebro and Sequent going.
Quite a trio. All 3 of them got the gates open in just 20 days. Leorio even managed to get through the second door.
Well, they're licensed hunters after all, pros.
Pros.
Well, they're licensed hunters after all. Pros.
Maybe they have the stuff to reach the mansion.
Wouldn't bet on it. Remember 3 years ago when that blacklist hunter brought a gang of 100 thugs to storm the mansion? A butler, a 10-year-old apprentice, wiped them out to a man. I tell you, it still boggles the mind.
And it shows someone standing amidst the corpses of all these people who tried to break in. A 10-year-old, a butler, took all of these people down.
100 people by themselves.
I recall that hunter being so impressed he asked for a job. Well, excuse me. One massacre was enough to show that I was clearly outclassed.
And that's the reason why Sequaint is there. Because he's the one who brought those 100 men, and he was the only survivor. Blacklist Hunter. That was him.
One massacre was enough to show that I was clearly outclassed. That bunch at the mansion, employers and employees, are just too uncanny for words.
And then it cuts back to Gon's people.
Hmm.
And there's someone standing in front of this open gate. And it's a young girl. It's a young black girl. Young black girl representation! Well, just black people representation in general. Just, we get her standing here, and she's at the front of the gate. And she's just standing there going,
You will please leave. This is private property. Trespassers are not welcome. We called ahead and gained...
oh wait, and this is going, well, I think this is Kurapika going,
We called ahead and gained entrance through the testing gate.
Yes, but did the butlers give you permission?
No, not even when we said we're friends. So how do we get permission?
Who knows? There's never been a president.
So trespassing's our only option?
I guess it is. Be that as it may, you must leave. If you cross this line, I will remove you by force.
and there's a line in front of the gate that she's standing at. And then Gon starts to walk forward. Yeah, Gon starts to walk forward, and he gets close, and he steps over the line, and this girl hits Gon so hard he gets flown back immediately. Gon! Both Leorio and Kurapika get their weapons out.
Hold it, guys!
And it shows a blood drop from somewhere.
I'll handle this. Stay where you are. Ow. Look, we're not here to fight anyone. We want to see Killua, that's all.
And then Leorio and Kurapika are silent.
Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. All I know is that I have my orders.
So Gon puts his backpack down and everything else down, and he just walks up to the girl, who promptly, she has a staff with like a ball end at the end. She takes the staff and smacks him in the face. And then it just continues on over and over with Gon getting back up and walking towards the gate and getting smacked. And someone is washing through the bushes. And it just continues until Gon's face, like the side of his face, is getting more and more swole. Like his eye is swollen over to the point where he can't even open his eye. His cheek is swollen off to the side, blood coming out of both of his nose and his mouth. He's just covered in bruises. And this girl keeps smacking him over and over and over again. Mind you, this girl is starting to get a little bit splattered with Gon's blood as well because of all the smacking. But Gon continues to get up, and a bead of sweat starts to appear on her face just a bit.
Please, will you just go away?
And then Gon steps over the line again, and she smacks him again. And then Gon's hair is getting frazzled as Gon continues to get back up.
Enough! You can't get in. Accept it. You're his friend. Stop him.
Leorio and Kurapika are shown to be standing so serious that they are drawn seriously. You know how Saitama is always drawn seriously when he starts to get serious about a fight? All of a sudden, Leorio and Kurapika are drawn with extra detail to show how serious. They are drawn seriously to show how serious they are. And this girl keeps looking.
Jeez.
And then Gon gets up again. And I need to facilitate Gon having a swollen cheek.
Tell me, why do we have to do this? We just want to see our friend. What's everyone so afraid of?
And then Gon walks up to her and punches one of the stone mounts that signifies the other side, that signifies this entryway deeper into the forest, and he just destroys it with a punch. And then he's just standing there after destroying that with a punch and goes,
Well, my foot, it's crossed the line.
Shouldn't you hit me?
And then she's just second guessing herself. And she's starting to tremble. And she sees Gon's resolve. And she's sweating.
The difference between you and Fluffy is that while you hide your emotions, you still have a soul. At the mention of Killua's name, you betrayed something. Concern, maybe?
And she's just looking at Gon going,
Please. You must help Master Killua.
and as soon as that happens, she gets hit by something out of nowhere, directly in the head. And she falls over. And then Gon, Kurapika, and Leoria are shocked as we get someone else.
We simply can't have the hired help taking such liberties.
As it shows a woman in like this Victorian big dress with a big old hat, holding a fan, and a young girl in a kimono standing over in the distance. And this woman has a heavily bandaged face and a visor, like a not even a Dalek, but what are those dudes from the Xylons from Battlestar Galactica? Basically has like a visor with a single eye on it. And the girl with the yukata and what appears to be like a long straight hair, well, short straight hair, and a beauty mark by her mouth.
She's still a bloody apprentice with a poor understanding of the family dynamic. You're Gon, aren't you? Illumi's mentioned you. Kill is aware that you've been on the premises for the past 3 weeks. He asked me to pass on a message. Quote, thanks for coming to see me. However, I'm presently indisposed. Sorry.
And then it shows that deep within this mountain, deep in what looks to be like some dungeon-looking area, Killua is in chains, shackles around his arms and his legs, strung up, pretty much, and he's got cuts and bruises all over his body. And that is the end of chapter 41. Onwards to chapter 42! Chapter 42, The Zoldyx, Part 3! And we cut to, I guess, a flashback?
Hey, you're new.
Yes, Master Killua. My name's Canary.
Here, you can have this.
I appreciate the thought, Master Killua.
You don't have to call me Master, just Killua.
I'm a servant, Master. It wouldn't be appropriate.
Come on, be my friend.
All the same, Master Killua.
So we get her name. Her name is Canary. And then we cut back to the mountain where Killua is apparently being tortured and strung up, while some hefty-looking dude has a whip and he's whipping Killua. And Killua is asleep. And this dude grinds his teeth and goes, "Wake up!"
Huh? Oh, morning, Miluki. You're early.
And this person is smoking, and he takes his cigar and then puts it out directly on Killua's chest.
Oh, he's so cocky, eh, Kill?
Ow, that stings. Look, I'm really very, very sorry for everything.
And then Miluki hits him again, going,
Liar! Liar!
Can't fool you, huh?
And then something in his front pocket in Miluki's chest pocket rings as he goes,
Yes? Oh, hi, Bobby. Yeah. Okay, I will. Kill 3 friends of yours at the butler's quarters.
and Killua isn't saying anything.
What do you say, Kill? Shall I ask Bobby to tell the butlers to dispatch them?
And while he's saying this all smug like, Killua just casually breaks out of one of his restraints and goes,
Miluki, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
and he's saying this while he's staring at his brother.
Eh?
And then someone walks in and goes,
Boys?
because I have a feeling I know who this is.
Boys?
Who's saying boys?
Boys? I think that will do, Meal.
But Grandpa Zeno, he's not sorry, not one bit.
That's quite obvious. You may go now, Kill.
Okay.
And then Killua just casually snaps out of all of his restraints, as if they're literally nothing. He literally grabs one restraint and breaks it off of his arm. This dude could have left at any time.
Whew, bit stiff. I don't regret what I did, Miluki, but I know I deserve the punishment.
Kill, Silva would like to see you.
Dad? Dad? Huh, okay.
And then Miluki just gets upset, going, and then he throws the whip down, being angry.
Why, Grandpa? Why do you always let him off like that?
And then Grandpa Zeno, he looks at him and goes,
He's special, Meal. Tell me, what do you think of his potential?
Well, I admit, he probably has one of the most awesome talents ever spawned by the Zoldycks. Even Mommy says so. But let's face it, he's absolutely no good as an assassin. He's too erratic. He runs off, he makes friends. What kind of person is that? To head a family of well-renowned assassins?
All valid points.
Sure, as for me, I'll take out anyone, anytime for the right price. And my newest bomb is a real winner. It's only got the punch of a cherry bomb, and mosquitoes are no good for precision targeting, but tiny enough to tiny enough to harness to tiny enough to harness to a mosquito. And my newest bomb is a real winner. Tiny enough to harness to a mosquito, it explodes when she sucks blood. It's only got the punch of a cherry bomb, and mosquitoes are no good for precision targeting, but
Meal, you're a sharp kid. And an idiot.
And then we get to apparently Killua's dad, who's got long, luxurious Fabio looking hair.
So, I hear you've made some friends.
Yeah,
What are they like?
well, they're lots of fun to be with.
I see. So how was the exam?
Not bad.
And then it's just kind of silent.
Sit over here by me, Kill.
Huh?
I want to hear all about it. Your exam experiences, who you met, how you felt, anything and everything. Just talk to me.
Sure.
And then we cut back to this lady and this girl with Gon looking. Oh!
Hello, I'm Killua's mother. This is Kaluto.
And then Gon is just looking. And he looks back at Leorio and Karapika as they're tending to Canary. She's just out cold.
Whew.
And then they look back at Killua's mom.
Ma'am, why are we allowed to see Killua?
He's presently in solitary confinement. He attacked his brother and myself, then ran away. He came back, however, wishing to repent. It has all been entirely by his choice, so it's anyone's guess when he'll want to receive visitors.
And then something beeps into her visor, and she goes,
Father-in-law, please, not... What? You didn't? He's not ready yet. He hasn't even... Oh my. Honestly. I swear it's always something. I must go. Do come again.
and then Gon just goes,
Please, ma'am, would you let Killua know? We'll be in the area for 10 more days.
and then her head turns around with the sound effect as if she's a robot, and she goes,
Yes, young man, I'll let him know. Good day.
and then she just moves into the forest. While Kaluto, the daughter, she just stays and stares at, Gon and company.
Kaluto, come along, dear. Yes, Mother.
And then she disappears into the forest as well. Then we get back to Leorio. Then we get to Leorio, who goes,
Whew, of all the creepoids I've met, these take the prize. Killua chose to come back? I don't think so. We've come this far, Gon. Maybe we should follow them.
and then Gon goes,
Maybe. If we do, though, it might mean trouble for her.
Yeah.
and then Canary's not saying anything.
The butler's quarters aren't far, and it has a phone connected directly to the mansion. If Master Zeno answers, you might get somewhere.
And then it cuts back to Killua's mother, who's moving at such a high pace that she's just speeding through. And mind you, this woman's in a dress, in a Victorian English style dress. You know, the ones with the big, massive sides, and you have to hold them up in order to hope to just move at least 2 miles an hour. She is speeding through this forest, holding this dress, going...
Bother! No one ever asks me first. Now Kill's gone off to lark about with Dad! Bother!
And then Kaluto's right behind her, just running. Then we cut back to Killua speaking to his dad.
And then, you know what Gon said to him? He said he didn't want his leg cut off, but he wasn't giving up. The kid's a real terror. He's interesting, all right.
And then his dad is just looking at him.
Kill. Would you like to see him? Be honest, Kill. What do you want? We're father and son, but there hasn't been a lot of meaning in that. I was raised by my parents to be an assassin, and I believe that was how I should raise you. But you're no mere extension of me. The day you left, I finally realized that. While you're my son, you're also your own person, with your own path to follow. Perhaps in time, it will lead back here. All right?
And he's just casually talking with his son. That's a good dad.
So I'll ask again. Would you like to see your friends?
Yes.
Good. We're all set then. Oh, one last thing.
And then his dad bites into his finger and goes,
Promise me you'll never betray your friends. Okay?
And then Killua does the same thing. And they just, make a blood promise.
I'll never betray them. I swear.
And then they just... And then we get Killua's mom running up to him.
Kill! They went away, so return to your cell.
No, Mom. I'm leaving now.
Kill!
And mind you, she's... Kill! And she tries to reach towards him, but she stops because she sees this intense stare from Killua, and she relents.
Step aside.
Oh, Kill. What a splendid icy glare you have.
And then we get back to his mom going,
Father-in-law, and now you? Are you all mad? Illumi finally brings him home, and you just up and let him go?
He needs to go his own way.
This is madness! We're at the most crucial stage in Kill's development as head of the family.
That's exactly why we need to allow this. Don't worry, he'll be back. He is, after all, my son.
I don't like the way he's laughing. I'm starting to regret saying he's a good dad. That's the end of chapter 42, though. Onwards to chapter 43. We're almost done. Chapter 43, the Zoldycks Part 4. And then we cut back to the forest with Canary going,
Almost there.
Eh? And we cut to a building in this forest, and we have numerous people who are all dressed to the nine. These must be the rest of the butlers. And we get numerous butlers who are all dressed the same, but have different facial features and different appearances. One has a receding hairline, but is also faded and properly kept. One has slightly spiky short hair. One is the one that one dude in the middle looks like the guy that was on the phone speaking to Gon earlier on. Another one that has perfectly symmetrical bangs and also swept back hair, and another one with like a box framing of his line in front as well. Yeah, and they all just bow. And now we're inside of this butler mansion.
We apologize for our previous discourtesy. We have been informed by the lady of the house that you are to be treated as official guests. Please have a seat. Welcome to the butler's quarters.
And mind you, all of the butlers are kind of posted in a bit of a surrounding formation around this. They don't think I'm just now noticing that while Gon and company are seated nicely, the butlers are seated and standing in areas that would make it easy to surround all of them. That's just something I instinctively just noticed.
We're not at the mansion?
Not even close, believe me.
Look, we appreciate this, but we're here to see Killua, okay? So if you'll just take us up to the mansion... That is not necessary. Master Killua will be here anon.
He's coming here?
That's right, so please be patient.
And then they're all happy, but then the dude in the middle goes,
Now, as waiting is always a tedious affair, perhaps we could pass the time with a little game.
Such...
And then Leorio goes, such as? And then dude flips a coin. And he moves his hands in both directions.
So, where's the coin?
And they all point and say,
Left hand!
Correct. I'll do it again, only faster.
He flips the coin, and then he moves his hands even faster.
And now, where?
And Gon smiles and goes,
Left again!
Very good.
And all the other butlers are clapping.
All right, time to get serious.
And then he flips the coin in the air, but then he starts moving his hands at such a high speed that it's kind of, and I can't do it because obvious reasons. He just starts moving his hands in high speeds everywhere. And they're caught off guard by it.
And now?
And Leorio goes,
That was tougher, but I'd say the right. Allow me the liberty to clarify something for you. I've known Master Killua since he was a baby, and I care about him, as I would my own son. I do not approve of you taking him away.
And this dude is getting serious. Hold on, let me adjust this just a little bit, because I'm kind of teetering off to the edge a little.
I do not approve of you taking him away.
And they're all just kind of silent.
So, which hand? Choose.
And Kurapika says,
The left.
and it shows this dude open his palm, and the coin is there, but he apparently was clenching it so hard, explaining why he doesn't like the fact that they're taking Killua, that he actually bent the coin in his palm.
The lady. Her voice was a bare whisper. Her son is leaving, and it's breaking her heart. All because of you.
Then he takes out another coin.
I'll get the measure of you myself before Master Killua gets here. My rules, no appeals.
And the rest of the guards take out weapons, bladed weapons immediately, and the butler with the short spiky hair puts a sword directly up to Canary's throat.
One mistake and you're out. If you all go out before Master Killua arrives, I'll tell him you just took off. You will be gone, of course.
And then Gon, after some silence, Gon speaks up and goes,
He's Killua!
Silence. I can barely stand the sight of you. I will tell you when you can speak.
And then he flips the coin and starts doing his his super jazz hands, his high-speed sonic hands, and goes,
Which hand?
and then Gon is thinking,
I don't know.
You will answer in 3 seconds, or we will slit her throat.
right. I say the left.
I say right.
Same here.
1 out, 2 to go.
As he shows the coin is in his right hand. Leorio, don't speak, please. Then he flips it again. And it's ridiculously fast to the point where his hands are so fast that you just see the hands stop. Not even see them in motion. They just move fast enough to stop, and that's all you see.
No good.
I couldn't see.
Well, which?
I'll pick right.
Then I choose left.
Left is correct. 1 left, and so...
And then he just flicks the coin in the air.
Up we go.
And then Gon goes,
Hold it.
What? If this is a stall, one of you gets the knife.
Don't bother. I'll do it myself.
and this is Gon looking at Leorio saying this.
Leorio, will you give me your knife, please?
And Gon takes his knife and slashes he cuts over his eye so he can reduce the swelling. He cuts over his eye. Just cuts over it and allows blood to gush out so he can see properly to relieve the swelling. He cut himself to relieve the swelling.
Ah, that's better. Ready when you are.
And then Gon is watching as he's just doing the supersonic hands and goes,
Which?
Left.
Not bad. Okay, let's move it up a notch.
and he stands out of his chair. 2 other butlers get up next to him, facing opposite of each other. And he flips the coin, and their hands start interlocking at high speeds in between each other. And everyone is shocked to see this giant amalgamation of high-speed hands.
Who has it now?
And then Gon goes,
Heh. That guy behind me.
and the guy behind Gon kind of has a bead of sweat. And then he holds open his hand because he's the one who has the coin now.
Well done.
And then someone screams,
Gon! Killua!
Well, time for an apology. I got rather into my little joke. Still, it sure held past the time, right?
Hey, time really has flown. A joke, huh? Could have fooled me. And then the butler is just smiling. And then Gon is looking at him. And then we get Killua, who's shown up.
Gon! And, Karapika, Loradio.
Hello, Killua.
Leorio.
Been ages, huh? Boy, Gon, you're a mess. Looking pretty mangy yourself. Okay, let's go, and I don't care where. Mom might change her mind if we stick around. So long, you guys. And Gotch, no matter what Mom told you, don't follow me.
As you say, sir. Have a good time.
Oh, his name is Gotch. That's a cool name. And then Gon, preparing to leave, still looks at Gotch and goes,
Mr. Gotch?
oh wait, not go. Oh, the closeness. The closeness of the words made me think it was Gotch, but it's Gotoh. It's Goto. Goto, Mr. Goto. Mr. Gotch. What? What even name is that?
So long, you guys, and Mr. Goto. And Goto, no matter what Mom told you, don't follow me.
As you say, sir. Have a good time.
Mr. Goto, you'll miss Killua, won't you?
It is our duty to serve our employers, not to get emotionally attached to them.
Yeah, right.
And then he sticks his tongue out at Gon. And then Gon sticks his tongue out at Mr. Goto. And then Goto's still bowing, and then goes, Gon. And then he flips the coin and goes, which hand this time?
The left. The left. I'm sure.
Huh. And then he shows that the coin is actually in his right hand.
But I saw.
Even the fastest eye can be fooled. The world is full of tricks and tricksters of all types. Be careful. And please, look after Master Killua.
And that is the end. That is the end of chapter 433, and this is also the chapter where the creator of Hunter x Hunter says that he got married. The wedding reception, the proposal, preparing for the wedding and the reception, the honeymoon, now we work side by side. Thanks for all the letters wishing us the best. Please send us more. That's chapter 43. Onwards to the last chapter of this particular volume, chapter 44. Chapter 44, The Heavens Arena.
Yeah, he pulled that same trick on me. It is so wickedly simple, I felt like an idiot.
I think I know how it works. Watch. And Kurapika does the exact same thing. Which hand?
Left, right?
And shows it's in the right hand.
How'd you do that?
Simple. I had 2 coins. I palmed one, flipped the other, and made an obvious catch with my left hand. Takes a little practice to pull off. You hold your fists a bit above the audience's eye levels, like so. Then let the left coin slip into your pocket, slip into your sleeve.
Right!
And show the right coin.
No fair! That's it. Don't worry. Goto knows all kinds of tricks, but he hates cheating. Anyway, why are you being so stubborn? Huh? What you mean? You passed the hunter exam. You got the license. You can go just about anywhere you want. No tourist visa required.
That's what we told him.
Look, there's stuff I want to do before I actually use it.
Yeah?
Like what? Well, there are several people I owe who I want to see. I really want to find Kite and give back the card he lost. And most important of all, I want to punch Hisoka in the face and make him take back this badge that he let me have. Until I do that, I just can't feel like I've actually earned my hunter's license. Yeah? Know where to find him?
And Gon is looking at Killua. Killua's looking at him, and Gon just goes,
Well...
And Leorio's just going, figures. I can answer that, Gon.
You can?
How? He told me. Was that what he said? Yes, after the lecture. But during your match, he... I know. Look, I figure it's your business, but we're all friends and allies here. He said, I know something interesting about the spiders. And that caught Kurapika's attention. I never told him about the Phantom Troop, so he must have overheard us during the first phase, or was filled in by someone who did. The troop's symbol is the spider, which is what they are called by anyone familiar with them. Hisoka clearly knew that, so it got my interest. Makes sense. And that's what made you swallow your pride and take the win. After the lecture, I asked him to elaborate. Not now. Meet me in York New City on September 1st. Hey, it's the 4th of September. But also, York New City? York New City, that seems familiar. Seems familiar somehow. I can't quite put my finger on it. Not now. Meet me in York New City on September 1st.
That's more than 6 months away! What's going on in York New City, then?
An auction! The largest in the world! Right. For 10 days, starting September 1st, rare and unusual objects and treasures from around the world will be offered there,
along with swarms of worthless counterfeits and forgeries. Seasoned collectors with their cash will flock there in droves, seeking their heart's desires. Will the troupe be there? Maybe. There will be plenty of people who know of them anyway. And Hisoka will be there. That much is certain. I will find him and call you.
Thanks, Karapika.
It is time for me to depart. Huh? Reuniting with Killua was my final obligation before putting my hunter license to use. Now I'll use it to earn the money to attend this auction. Good idea.
See you in York, New Karapika.
As for me, I'm heading home.
What? Already?
I haven't forgotten my dream, Gon. This'll cover my tuition to a public medical school, so I gotta knuckle down and qualify for one.
Check. Study hard.
You bet. So we'll all meet again on September 1st in York New City.
And then time passes as they say their goodbyes to Leorio and Karapika.
So it's down to the two of us, huh?
I'm not sure what to do next.
Well, there's always training.
Huh? Why?
Why?
And Killua just stares at him like,
Why? I'll tell you why.
Try going up against Hisoka at your current skill level. That'd be loads of laughs. But a 10-year training regimen would be a good start, but guess what? We just got 6 months. So say this is Hisoka, and this is Hanzo. Let's say Hisoka and Hanzo are this far apart in ability. That means you're...
and it shows a very long line. Like, he draws a short line between the skill level of between Hanzo and Hisoka, and then he draws one that goes across the entire hallway, all the way down, and goes,
Here! On your best day! I should be insulted. Where'd you place yourself then?
Me? About here, I guess, in normal mode. In all modesty.
Wow! Hanzo's stronger?
What?
How do you do it?
Draw on the floor? Nothing to it.
No, compare people's strengths.
It's just an approximation. You get the general idea, right? With experience, you'll gain precision. But don't rely on this too much. The stronger the guy is, the better he's gonna be at hiding it. Hisoka's a tough customer, you know?
Yep,
No way you can beat him with only 6 months training.
I know.
Gon,
Yeah?
how much money you got?
Running pretty low, actually.
Same here, but we can deal with training and cash flow at the Heavens Arena.
and they get on an airship as they go to a new spot.
It's 251 stories, 3,250 feet tall. 4th tallest building in the world. Right there, see? And there's Yorknew to the south of it. The airfare to get here's left us broke.
We gotta earn a living.
We gotta earn a living now. Ready for our new beginning?
Yeah!
And they're preparing to leave as they go,
Let's go!
Okay!
and then we see this long line outside.
Look at that line.
All here to compete, eh? Don't worry about the rules, 'cause there aren't any. Just knock the other guy out, that's it. The higher we go, the bigger the purse.
Thank you for your effort. I have to go, so I'll watch the rest tomorrow. I wish everyone here a good day. Thank you, Mihai, for stopping by. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for all the support you show. You continue to be safe out there. You enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you in the next session. Well, the next one you show up to.
Just knock the other guy out. That's it. The higher we go, the bigger the purse. All in all, a true mecca for true fighters.
Welcome to Heaven's Arena. Please fill out these forms.
And there's just this young lady who's in front, giving them, ways to write how they're supposed to go in there.
You'll want to boost your initial ranking, so put down 10 years combat experience. Thank you! Go right in!
And we enter into the arena, and we see that there's multiple fight mats everywhere. And people are just fighting all over while people in the crowd are watching.
Wowie!
Hasn't changed a bit.
Huh? You've been here before?
My dad left me here, penniless, when I was 6, and said I had to stay until I reached the 200th floor. Took me 2 years to get there.
That long, sure. Killua's only 6, but still.
Guys of Hisoka's caliber are found a lot farther up, so there's no time to waste. Got it?
Got it!
Numbers 1973 and 2055 to Ring E.
Ah, that's me! Gotta say, I'm nervous.
Gon, you made it through the testing gate. So just go out there and...
Eh? Really?
Contestants forward! And it's Gon against this very large, very huge dude.
Check it out, little kid.
Run, kid, while you can! You ain't got no playground. You ain't on no playground.
This is just silly.
And this dude is just standing and towering over Gon. And the whole crowd is just laughing at the fact that Gon is there.
You got lucky, big guy! Just flick him out of the ring!
First floor contests are for conditioning evaluations. Show me your skill level. You have 3 minutes. All right. Begin!
I'll make it quick, kid.
And big dude runs over to Gon. Gon dodges the punch.
So just go out there and...
And then Gon, just with one hand, just shoves the dude out of the ring with just one hand. So hard that you see the impact go through his back. Go through his back! Go through his back and send him flying to the other side of the arena. Not the other side of where he's fighting, because there's enough room in this whole arena for multiple matches to be happening at the same time. Gon knocks him not only off of the placement mat, but also clear across the building.
Did you see that? Kid's a gorilla.
Boy, I've gotten that strong?
And then everyone is just shocked, except for Killua.
Nice job!
And then the dude is looking at Gon with a slight bead of sweat on his cheek. Number 2055.
Yes?
Advance to the 50th floor. And then he puts out a card for Gon. Here, good luck.
Thanks.
Numbers 254 and 239 to Ring A.
I'm up.
And that's Killua. A veteran. Reach the 200th floor. You may start at the 180th.
Floor 50 will do. I'd like to go easy at first.
2 monster brats today? Sheesh.
And check that one out. And it cuts to this other little kid with a shaved haircut who apparently floored this other large dude that was against him. Advance to the 50th floor. Us! Us! And that's the end of chapter 44. And that brings an end to my reading of Hunter x Hunter for all of you today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to more Hunter x Hunter. Next week, we continue with Volume 6. I have to say, as I read this more and more, it keeps getting better and better and better, and I'm frankly enjoying everything that has to do with this story. Initially, I was just thinking, maybe this is going to be a little bit too much reading, but no. I feel like the dialogue is appropriately paced for the chapters that I get, and by reading all of that, the chapter also tends to feel a little bit shorter in comparison. So overall, I am really liking how the pacing is being done for all of these chapters thus far. But yeah, overall, I really am enjoying myself with this. So I'll see you guys next week, because next week is Borderlands week. So I can't wait to bring that series and start that series for all of you. But I'm done. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Also, I'll get that Space Marine video out to you guys as soon as I can, because I'm going to start editing as soon as I'm done here. Hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!